Hey, welcome to the Jepson podcast, the podcast with two friends. Raise a glass and have a conversation. I'm Nick.
I'm Kyle.
Kyle.
Yo.
Guess what?
What?
We've got real mics this time.
Holy moly.
I know.
I was wondering what this taste was in my mouth.
Taste?
Yeah. Licking the mic over here.
Well, that's your proclivity, I guess. If that's what you want to do. You smelling it. You licking it and smell it?
Yeah. I get all familiar with it.
Okay.
This is my mic, right?
It's got
It
the
is
blue
now.
tape. It is now. I mean, you know, I'm not going to change it now. But, Kyle, it is beautiful outside right now.
It is a nice night for sure.
I think-
Sadly, we're no longer in the woods.
We were found.
Yes, somebody came found us, heard the cries of the podcast.
I thought it was our wives that got concerned. It
Nah.
wasn't.
No.
It was actually some listeners.
Yep. Yeah. I think they were probably working against it.
What, the wives or the listeners?
The wives.
Yeah.
Don't go find them.
Don't go find them. Yeah, why? You don't need to bring them
Things
back.
are just fine the way they are.
Sure.
They're happy. We're happy.
You know what? We're not in the woods, but we are on the back porch studio.
Yeah, second best place we could possibly be.
Well, I'm sure there are other better places, but I like this place.
Yes.
Yeah.
In places that we've recorded.
Anyway, we're on the back
Anyway.
porch studio, and
Haven't been back here in a while.
no, we haven't.
Been a minute.
You know why? Because it's been
Cold.
really damn hot. And
And hot.
well,
yeah.
what?
Hot and cold. Cold and hot.
Well, if it's cold, I'd rather be out here.
Yeah.
If it's hot, I won't be anywhere out here.
You're not wrong.
I mean, and by cold, I mean it's less than 75 degrees right now.
Right. Florida winter.
Right. I woke up and man, it was like 50.
Brisk.
I know. I had to wear a parka.
What?
I know. I put on my snow boots.
Man.
That's what I do.
Snow boots. Walking in the sand.
Right. The Florida snow. That's what we call it.
Florida snow.
So, you want to drink something?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What do you want to drink?
Booze.
Listen, I've got something for you, buddy.
Okie dokie.
On the table here, Kyle, I've got two bottles.
Yep.
I have currently obscured one bottle because we talked about a couple episodes ago in our New Year's episode wanting to branch out, try new things. So so that's what we're doing today.
I've had that one, right?
You have had neither of these.
Okay. I feel like that name that one that I can see looks familiar.
Correct. And here's why. Okay, this is what Kyle can see right now is Jepson's Malort.
Milort.
Yes.
Lord Milort.
Now, why this name sounds familiar and the bottle sounds familiar to you is that the summer of 2020, during lockdown, we did an episode with the Florida Beer Blog.
Sure.
And he mentioned Malort.
No kidding.
Yeah. And this is a liqueur that actually several listeners have mentioned, like, well, you got to try this stuff.
Really?
Yeah. Friend of the pod, Brandon, who donated a couple pints a couple weeks ago. I think I mentioned it. Yeah. Brandon is from the Chicago area, and I asked him a while ago about Jepson's Malort. And the reason why I mentioned this is that it is a Chicago area thing.
Sure.
Like this is a liqueur that is on every bar shelf in Chicago. It is very Chicago.
Right. This is all sounding very familiar. You're sure we haven't done?
I am 100% sure.
You haven't had me try this off the pod?
I am 100% sure because
Okay.
I've never had a bottle of this, and here's why. Only recently,
Nasty.
we don't know that.
That's the rumor. I don't know why that's sticking in my head, but it is.
Here's the reason why. Because it's such a Chicago area thing that it really wasn't available down here.
Right.
Interesting fact, though, it was actually distilled here in Florida until like 2018.
No kidding.
Yeah, I think like the company was somehow bought out in like the 70s or maybe early 80s, something like that.
Right.
And it was distilled here in Florida and then sent back to Chicago, but you couldn't get it here in Florida. But this company, CH Distillery in Chicago, brought it back to Chicago in 2018.
Good on them.
And weirdly, now it's here available in Florida.
All right.
So we're going to try this bottle of Jepson's Milort.
What is it? Do we know?
I do. You want me to give you some facts?
Okay.
First, build the tension, Kyle.
Okay.
I'm going to read you the bottle. Ready?
Yeah.
These are beautiful bottle words. You remember the bottle words on the Offerman edition?
Yeah. Melodious poetry.
Sure. These bottle words are pretty close. Here we go. Jepson's Milort has the aroma and full-bodied flavor of an unusual botanical. Its bitter taste is savored by two-fisted drinkers.
Okay. Surgeon General was warned.
That actually doesn't appear on the bottle.
Even better.
They don't care.
Yeah.
No, there is a government warning. Are you pregnant?
Not currently.
Then I think you're good.
All right.
All right.
Sweet.
All right. So Malort is a botanical liqueur, meaning it's essentially like when you think about almost any distilled spirit, it's a grain spirit. Milort is a Basque liquor, which means that it is distilled from potatoes, grain, or wood.
Okay.
The main botanical component of Jepson's Milort is wormwood.
Yummy.
If you must know, wormwood is famous for its medicinal properties, for ridding the body of
Gout.
gout would probably be better, of parasites and worms.
Yes. Makes sense.
Sure. Wormwood is also the kind of the main botanical in absinthe.
Okay.
And that's what makes people crazy.
So would vodka be considered a Basque?
I don't think so. Like I think it's the Basque liquor is also like a botanical, like something made with botanicals. So like a vodka is just a grain spirit or potato based spirit.
Right.
It doesn't have the botanicals in it because this has wormwood in it. It
Gotcha.
makes it a type of liquor.
Right.
And I think it's from the Basque region. I don't know.
Sure.
I might be even saying all that wrong.
I mean, take a Basque.
Well, you might have to after we do this. But I'm honestly super excited because I've heard tales of this stuff.
All right, and where did you get said bottle?
This is a donated bottle.
I was going to say, I mean, it
Super
looks
glad
opened.
It
and
is,
you're saying
yeah.
you haven't had it.
It is opened. It was a bottle that was purchased by a friend of the show, Kyle.
Yep.
Another Kyle. And he said, you guys have to try this.
Okay.
Actually, what he said is, I've got something for you. That's what he said to me. He said, I've got something for you. And I was like, I hope it's Jepson's Milort. And guess what?
Sure enough.
It's Jepson's Milort.
All right.
Indeed. I'm excited.
All right.
Because I know how much you love things like this. I will say this. It is supposed to be fairly bitter. And I know we like the bitters.
Sure.
But
You know, I honestly was having the conversation in my head the other day about like the different kinds of bitter.
yeah.
And like how my palate is opening up to the different kinds. Like a more deep bitter,
Right.
a more sharp bitter.
Sure.
There's
like
and
the
just how
sweet
interesting
bitter.
it is. Yeah.
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 You know, and I think about that's a really good point. And I know at some point soon we're going to do a podcast about embracing the bitter. Maybe we should have saved it for that.
Yeah.
But
Well, Milord it.
it's interesting now that like I think our palates definitely over the last couple of years for the pod have become way more developed.
Yeah, totally.
And through that, I think we can start to parse out like, you know, we talk all the time of this is a sugar sweet or a candy sweet or a
Right.
sorghum sweet. And
Right.
I think we can do that with the bitters too. Yeah, I like that. So, you ready?
Yeah.
Me
Pop
too.
that top.
It's a screw cap.
Nice.
I mean, listen,
Always a good sign.
did you expect anything different?
Not looking at the bottle.
Here you are, sir.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. All right, let me pour myself one.
Yep.
All right, here we go.
Delicious.
All right, you know, in the bottle, there's like a slight bit of color,
Yeah.
like bit O color,
Yeah. Watered down honey.
like really watered down honey.
Yeah, just some dirty water.
In the glass,
Not much.
it's clear.
Yeah.
Just this side of like something's been resting in that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like
Little danky bucket water.
I was gonna say like it's like a cup of water that maybe a fly has like decomposed in a little bit.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I want to point out that this is probably the first time in the history of Jepson's Milort that it has been poured into a Glencairn.
Yeah. You're probably right.
Because this is a shooting liqueur.
Right. This is not a savoring, sipping liqueur.
Right. On the nose. Ooh. Okay. You know what?
Yeah.
It's not bad on the nose. Like it's bitter. It reminds me of, you remember we made the Negronis with Tanya
Sure.
and we had the Campari?
Yep.
It reminds me of that. Just like a bitter component.
You know what it smells like? It smells like the cheapest liquor store that you've ever been in.
Yeah.
Like, you know, dirtiest, dankiest, like liquor store.
Sure.
Like it smells like this inside of it.
It really does.
That's bizarre.
Or like you go into a dive bar that like, I feel like a dive bar in New York City because you can't smoke inside in New York City.
Sure.
So like a dive bar in New York City, this is what it smells like. Or
Yeah.
maybe Chicago. I
mean,
don't know if you can smoke inside in Chicago.
This just conjures up every like rundown kind of like, you know, just you question whether or not you should go in liquor store.
But you know there's going to be some sort of gem in there.
Yeah, I mean, you're going in either way.
Right.
You never know what you're going to find.
Either.
I've always thought it was like a combination of like whatever they use to clean the floors
And spilled alcohol.
and just you know, a little bit of spilled alcohol
Or a lot of
there
it.
is a cleaning agent element to this.
Absolutely. Like an astringent.
Yeah.
I do smell wood or something plant-based. Herbal. Definitely herbal.
Sure.
It's like
botanical.
yeah.
Sure.
When you get past the gasoline,
Well, it's not astringent like a high proof. Like what are we talking proof here? Like
proof we are
not even
at
50.
35%.
35%.
Or so 70 proof.
All right.
So I mean, it's not like low.
Right.
Most whiskeys are at 80, so you're not terribly far off.
Sure.
Like
It's going bathroom on me. Like gas station bathroom.
but like clean gas station bathroom
Sure.
in this case, yeah.
Like a Buc-ee's. You've been to Buc-ee's yet?
I've been to Buc-ee's in Texas. Yeah, I haven't been to a Buc-ee's here. The Buc-ee's is in Florida.
Yeah, we went to the one in Florida. I don't guess we went to the one in Alabama.
Yeah.
But now they're all over the freaking place.
Yeah, now they are. Okay, you ready?
Sure.
Got your water handy?
I do.
Okay.
Not much is going to be missing out of this glass. I can
Listen.
kind of tell.
All right, I'm going in.
Okay.
Okay,
You've had this before.
I have not.
You've never
I've
never
had
tasted
this. I've never
Okay.
tasted this. Nope. All right, so I'm going in. I'm going to give it a fair shake, and I'm going to give it a fair taste.
Yeah.
All right.
What does that mean?
Well, you said there ain't going to be much out of that glass. Like, as in, like, you're going to dip the tip of your tongue in
Oh
it.
no, man! I'm gonna take a sip.
Okay.
But that's gonna be the only sip.
What if you love it?
Not positive.
All right, here we go. Going in. Huh.
Whoa.
Oh, it's getting worse. How is it getting worse on my tongue? Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's an unpleasant bitter.
Whoa.
Man, it's like there's something really.
Ooh.
It's definitely wood. Like you've licked wood, but it was wood with worms in it.
It's wormwood?
Yeah.
That's not what that is, but yeah. I would say this. It's not as bad as I thought it would be.
Yeah. That's a good way to say it. Like, you know, expecting it to just be just terrible.
Right. Yeah.
It's not. It is terrible. It's not good.
It's not
but it's
good.
not as bad as it could be.
No, it's not. Okay. It's not, to me, it's not unpalatable. Like, I'm not saying, like, I'm actually going to take another sip because I know that, like, things change on the second sip.
Sure.
I have to do it. But I'm not like, nope, don't want that.
It's like,
I'm never going to reach for it. I can tell you that.
you know,
But-
when you grab like
Ugh.
yeah, when you grab like a leaf off of a bush and you just chew on that leaf, and then like some of the like the chlorophyll or what it is,
Right.
you know, that stuff, like it's so bitter, and you immediately spit that leaf out, and then you just can't get it off your tongue.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Yeah.
You just can't get it.
Yeah. It's
Like
it's
that bitter just won't let go. Like the edges of my tongue are just screaming right now.
still,
Just like,
yeah.
let me go.
It's a fairly clear alcohol, but it is thick.
Yeah, could you imagine throwing this up? How awful that would be. That's the worst. This mixed with bile, that's a rough. That's a rough night.
so
you don't
I asked-
forget that night.
I asked a couple people, like, is this a Chicago like shot in a beer kind of thing? And most of the people said it's a like it can be, but it's a like, have you tried Malort? Try it. Here you go. Or it's a like you're pretty far into it, and now like we're doing a shot of Malort. It's like a hooray kind of thing.
Right.
Okay. Carl Jepson, the
Carly Rae Jepson.
no, not Carl Jepson. Carl Jepson.
Call me maybe.
The original distiller of Milort. The story goes that this was the only thing he could taste
Interesting.
because he was a very heavy cigar smoker.
Sure.
And such that, like, I guess the cigar smoke and tobacco, like, just ruined his taste buds.
Sure.
You know, having had cigars, and you smoke one cigar and you got some smoke going on. If you were like somebody who smoked multiple cigars a day, I could definitely see like you
don't taste anything.
You don't taste anything. So I could see like if this is the only thing that dude could taste, sure. Because this, I bet, would cut right through
Just
some
about
thick
anything. Yeah.
turpentine
Seriously.
cigar smoke. I mean,
Like-
yeah.
I would be interested to, not that this is like a pairing thing, but like I would be interested to like pair it with like fudge. Like something
So
that's
they're
just
sweet?
like insanely sweet.
Yeah.
To see if it like neutralizes it at all.
Yeah.
or if it like shoots it the other direction and just dials up the bitter that much more, and it just like literally like cuts through.
It is an unpleasant bitter.
Yeah, it really is. Like it's like that bit inside of a pecan that's in between the nut.
Yeah, whatever.
But like you accidentally get a piece of that, when you're eating pecans, and you're just like, oh god.
It reminds me of, you ever bitten a tin foil before?
Yeah.
Like aluminum foil?
Yeah.
You got any fillings? Like any metal fillings?
Yeah. It's like licking a battery.
Kind of like reminds me of that a little bit. It's like,
yeah.
Yeah, like it kind of takes your breath away, but you're gonna do it again.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, I mean, I was surprised at the sweet.
Yeah,
at
there
the
is
beginning.
A bit, yeah,
right on the tip of your tongue, there's a sweet that is just immediately overwhelmed by the bitter.
Yeah,
Man, and it just doesn't let go. Like, so it's still there.
I've had 3 sips now.
Yeah,
and it doesn't get better. Like, most things will like the flavors will even out. Ain't no evening out in this thing. Whoa.
Yeah, it's so... oh, God. There's a really interesting mint right before the bitter hits. Mm-hmm. Like, there's like this sweet thing, and then this mint comes through like super heavy, and then it's just bitter. You almost trick yourself into thinking like, this might be go-cow. God damn, no, there it is again.
Right.
I don't think I've gotten used to it. Nope, I haven't gotten used to it.
A common kind of taste descriptor is that it taste like a mixture of pencil shavings and like the inside of an AutoZone. Like, like the smell of the inside of an AutoZone?
Sure.
Yeah, like it's a mixture of that. That's like more than one person on the Googles has said that. And I've heard it from more than one person. In fact, like I think even when we did the Florida Beer Blog, I'm pretty sure he said something very similar to that too.
Something automotive.
I understand it. I could see like the pencil shaving aspect of the, woody, botanical.
Sure.
Cleaner, like definitely cleaner.
I would take a mouthful of pencil shavings over this. Easy. I could see where it would have a fan.
Uh-huh.
And I could see how it would be like a bit of a cult favorite.
Oh, for sure.
Kind of a thing. Like, I get it. It's going to put hair on your knuckles.
Right.
Kind of a thing. Like, I'll take a shot of this. I get it.
No,
but it's definitely not to be like slowly enjoyed.
This is what you do. Like your 15-year-old sneaking beers out back. You're like, you want to drink?
You ready to drink?
Yeah. Here's a shot of this. That's what you do.
Yeah, you're drinking this till you throw up, and you'll never touch it again.
You'll never touch anything.
You'll be terrified.
Correct. You want another pour?
Nope. I'm good.
Listen, I'm actually like, I'm glad we did it though, for sure.
Cool.
You're not.
It's
you got a lot in that glass, buddy.
It's a thing. It's a thing.
It is.
Yeah.
Well,
we did it.
We did it. Here.
Malort.
Yep. Thanks, Kyle, for the bottle and the experience.
Yeah.
Hey, so now that we've got, I was gonna say good. That's just what I normally.
Now that we got water.
Now that we've got we got a drink that neither one of us are gonna have another taste of. What do you want to talk about this week?
I've had a thought that's been rolling around in my head for a couple of months now.
Is that what that was growing over there?
Yeah, you could probably hear it.
Yeah,
it's echoey in there.
It is.
This thought that I've been having is kind of just based more or less on the idea of how much contemporarily we emphasize the child within a family.
Ooh.
And kind of make decisions solely around the child. And it's making me wonder, like, are we over catering to kids, to children? I think it's just popping in my head just in terms of like, I'm always reminiscing. I'm always like looking back at my own life and stuff like that. And even within my lifetime, to look back at like, when we were younger.
Sure.
And we had Nickelodeon, and we had Disney Channel, and we had PBS. That was about it.
For kids TV, yeah.
For kids,
sure.
for television. Today, I look at my kids' options, and it's just endless.
Real, like
just
legitimately.
Endless entertainment.
Yeah.
I'm looking at like, we have restaurants that are for kids. We go on vacations for kids. And like, I just, I know I look back to like my grandparents and my parents where like that was never up for a debate. Like it was never, we're going to have this vacation or go eat at this restaurant. Like it was, we're going to go do what we do and you're just going to be there.
Right.
And just like the huge shift.
You're
that
with
seems,
us.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. And you're not, you're meant to be seen, not heard.
Correct.
Kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And just a really big shift.
Yeah.
Within the past generation that the child has almost become, in a lot of instances, not in every, but has become like the focal point.
Yeah, for sure. And ultimately, if the question is, do we cater to children? Yes, we do.
Sure.
And you bring up these television networks, Nickelodeon, Disney Channel, to some degree PBS, and I think that that's the impetus of this catering to children. And I think you probably want to get into like different categories, or I don't know. Like,
sure.
Okay.
But I'm also interested in like the ramifications.
Okay, sure. So I think this stems from advertising, where you have, let's just go with Nickelodeon, maybe low-hanging fruit, but you have Nickelodeon
Right.
that realized if we advertise to kids, because this is a network for kids, the more we advertise to kids, these advertisements sell toys, the more money, ad revenue, the more we get.
Sure.
So I think the impetus is there. And then these companies realizing, wow, the biggest decision maker that is in the household we have not yet tapped into, and that's the child.
Right.
Because as a non-parent, like I don't know if this is true, so I'm gonna posit it to you. But if a child is just going nuts of like, give me this thing, give me this thing, give me this thing, most parents are probably gonna say, if I give it to you, will you shut up?
Sure.
Or like, I will give it to you if you are good.
Right.
So then like that becomes part of a decision, and then we start to cater to the child. Slowly at first, but I think now we're starting to really see the impetus coming to full fruition.
Sure. And I've spent a large amount of time in restaurants that are geared for kids.
Sure.
And to see the shift, you know, I remember like almost like watching it in real time of like the evolution of kids coming in with a device.
Right.
And being almost like surprised at one point in time, maybe 5, maybe 7, 8 years ago, kind of like being like, oh, wow. Like, that kid's, like, watching cartoons at the table. That's interesting. To the point now where it's almost odd that that doesn't happen. You'll have 2 kids, each with their own device, propped up on their plate or up against their glass, watching 2 completely different shows.
Not engaging at all.
Yeah. Not talking to each other. They're just right there with the device. And I don't mean to be like the, you know,
the kids these
screen
days.
times, you know,
right.
Watch a kid's screen time, but it's just interesting.
Yeah.
You know, and it is kind of that like, hey, if you'll just be hypnotized by this for a few minutes so that we can have peace over here.
Right.
Everybody benefits from it except for the kid.
Sure. But, you know, I think you bring up restaurants. And I think restaurants are such a good barometer for where people are as a family, where society is, because it's, you know, what restaurants are popular, where are people going to eat, and how are they engaging, what are they eating, and the rise of the kids menu.
Sure.
To me is directly linked to this. I mean, the fact that like, you know, you and I have been in situations where like we're eating as adults like this just amazing food, and we're looking around and you got mac and cheese, chicken nuggets, you got
plain hamburger,
or crappy pizza. I think that is part of all of this, like the catering to the kid. And you could say like, we're catering to the kid to make the experience better for the adult. I think you could make that argument, but
100%.
But ultimately,
that is the argument.
But ultimately, like you're giving the kid this watered down experience to make them happy. I don't think happy is the right word, but
well, it's not that. It's like the whole point of the kids menu is to be able to have options that you can go to so that mom and dad can still go eat where they want to eat.
Right.
You know, it's more so like the restaurants that are 100% geared to the child that I find more interesting, where it's like the almost the
like a Chuck E.
the
Cheese?
adult menu is like secondary. I mean, yeah, I don't really necessarily look at Chuck E. Cheese as like a restaurant.
So an example.
Well, like a character meal restaurant at a theme park.
Okay.
You know, where 100% the characters who are there, it's for the kids.
Sure.
Sure, you might have a handful of adults that are there because they enjoy that experience too.
Sure.
But 90% of the people that are in there, it's the kids. We're here to see kids. I want to take a picture of my kid with that character, and that's what it is. And if anybody eats, it's almost secondary. If anybody enjoys the experience, it's almost, it enjoys the food anyway.
Yeah.
We're here for the characters. We're here for that. The whole thing, though, is just kind of mind-boggling in that sense of the priority that we put on spending this kind of money for the kid.
Pause for a second. I just belched off mic, and the flavor.
The vapors.
Oh, my God.
It tastes like vomit. It tastes like bile. It is awful.
I'm glad we could share this, buddy.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't. In those situations, I'm not surprised by it at all. But I am also like so interested in like, why are we giving these kids? And this is to the point of why are we giving these kids the option to eat this stuff? Why do we not, in just in terms of restaurants and meals, why do we not say like, okay, this is an Italian restaurant. There are no chicken fingers. Like there is pizza, sure, but there are no chicken fingers. And we are eating pasta primavera. This is what we're eating. You're eating this too.
No.
What do you mean no?
No.
Like that that won't happen. I agree. But like, why can't we do that?
Well, because the frustration, and I get that side of it.
Yeah.
Of like, I've gone days where I've spent, upwards of $50 on food for a kid that didn't eat any of it.
Sure.
And that will drive you nuts too. Like that'll make you lose your mind. And, I get it. Like, hey, y'all got chicken tenders? Fantastic. She loves chicken tenders. Let's go.
Right.
So I get that. I don't think it's necessarily like that kind of a thing, because kids will grow out of that.
Right. Okay.
You'll always grow out of that. At some point in time, well, maybe not, but in most situations,
Kids
you'll
are
grow
gonna-
out of
okay,
it.
sure.
Like, I mean, I know full-grown adults that like they only eat hamburgers and French fries and chicken
Yeah.
tenders. Like that's it.
That's me on a cruise ship.
Yeah, just living that life.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, it's more just like the, hey, we're going to go on a full-out vacation. We're going to pick restaurants geared for you, not necessarily for mom and dad.
Okay.
Because we want to make this the most magical thing for you.
Like we are purposely doing this for you.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah.
And then at what point in time do you wake up out of that coma of everything is about me and have to exist
yeah.
in the real world?
I mean, okay, so I think back to vacations when I was younger. And I feel like obviously we were always thought about, it's not like, well, we got to take the kids too, dang. But it was always like, we've got to also do something for them.
Right.
But a lot of the things that we did were things that my parents wanted to do.
Right.
And we were in the back of their mind about that. But it's like, we're going to go look at this thing and you're coming along. Or we're going to go eat at this restaurant and you're here too, obviously. Right. So this is what we're eating. I mean, and maybe there was a kids menu, and I'm sure, I don't, honestly, I don't remember that at all, but I'm sure. But what you're saying is like, we're planning an entire vacation around your enjoyment.
That, and it's like, and I'm 100% guilty of all these things too.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm not. When we went and did our huge vacation in Europe, we specifically had things planned
right
to break up that trip that were for the kids 100% to give them a break from going and looking at things.
Sure.
So 100% we do it.
But you didn't gear the whole vacation around them.
Not in that extreme. But I also know parents who like they have their kids so incredibly scheduled. Obviously, like
scheduling playtime.
They're just overscheduled.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's sports, that's piano, that's dance lessons, that's you're going to be on this particular like chess team, or like we're scheduling painting, we're scheduling like these kinds of, for sure.
Just like extracurriculars out the wazoo.
Right. I think that
to the point where it's like, well, hey, parents, like, what are your interests?
Right.
Why don't we ever do stuff that's like what you want to do?
Yeah.
And having everybody, like, I remember, oh my gosh, like when I was growing up, I could have dug my eyeballs out every single time my parents went to a antique store. And it didn't matter where we were going, they would find that stuff.
Sure.
Like, I can remember we would come down to Disney. And, that's primordially. That's primarily a vacation for the kids.
Right.
But man, we would find 10 antique stores to stop at on the way down. And I just, oh my God, what are we doing here?
For me, that experience was like Home Depot.
Yeah.
Or Lowe's.
Right.
Like inevitably, any time we would leave the house, I felt like somehow we were at a Lowe's. We were at a Home Depot. It's like, oh my God, like what? Dad, why are we here again?
We were here this morning. Why are we back?
And now as a homeowner, I'm like, I get it.
Yeah.
Like I totally get. Like I spend more time in that damn store. Exactly.
You always need something.
You always need something. Who knows? You just go in and look around because you're going to need it eventually.
Oh, shit, I didn't think about that. I do need that.
Exactly.
Go and grab one. Go and grab 5.
Yeah, we'll stock
I'm sure I'll use it.
Yeah. But like as a kid, I'm like, oh my God, like what are we doing? Kind of that same experience of, to me, the worst part of this is also, and again, I'm coming from a non-parent.
Right.
It's parents that cater so much to their children that they want to solve every little minute problem that their kid has.
Right.
I mean, like not things that like are relatively inconsequential.
Sure.
And I think that is the manifestation, as we talked about ramifications, I think like that's leading up to those ramifications of what are we doing?
Sure.
Because parents are solving every little problem that a child has, so the child is never able to experience problem.
Right. Yeah. I've often said like the hardest part of being a parent is deciding where you're going to let your kid struggle and fail.
Right.
And not swoop in and solve it and fix everything.
Yeah, I know you've said it on the pod before.
It's hard. Like it really is like a really difficult like thing to, try to acknowledge, just because it's like, oh man, that's something I can fix like that.
Right.
It's super easy for me to solve this problem. But if you don't ever have to struggle and solve it, at some point in time, you're going to have to.
Right.
And you're going to be ill prepared to do it.
Which brings me to ramifications. But before we do that, Kyle,
Yeah.
we've got another bottle.
It's foolproof Malort.
Very, very, very close.
Oh, God.
Kyle, this is another donated bottle.
All right.
I know, like, people love us.
We're donating them bottles.
Well, we're not. They're donating them to us.
We are accepting those donated bottles.
Correct.
Is this in the sleeve?
Yeah.
Here?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
What do you want me to do?
You going to undress it all sexy like?
I can. You got to take a picture of it?
Down it, down it.
Down, out. I've hidden this bottle in a Jepson whiskey bag. You can probably find that on Twitter. You can probably find that on TikTok. So if you're interested in one of these gift bags, wine, whiskey, whatever's in this bag right now,
Yep.
You can find one.
Yeah, totally.
And we'll hook you up. Anyway, so you ready for me to undress this bottle?
Yeah.
I'm going to take it out
Do
of
it
the
slowly.
bag. Okay, here we go.
Oh, boy. Oh, God.
Kyle, this is another donated bottle. This is...
I can't believe you got a whole bottle of
got a
that.
whole bottle of it.
Man.
It was, and I've also shared this bottle with some people.
Look at that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, share it with yourself.
This is a donated bottle from oldest friend of the show, James,
The Shikster.
and he heard us talking about this. Did we mention it at some point?
I feel like at some point in time you've said that you've seen a pickle whiskey,
right?
Something like that.
Right. And I know that we talked a little bit back and forth with him about this, and so he decided to buy it for us. All right. So here we go. The Whicked Pickle. I'm going to read you some bottle words.
Mm-hmm.
Pick a peck of pickled whiskey for a flavor as bold as it is unexpected. A shot of whiskey is nice, but wait until you try it with a little pickle spice. Intense heat with a hint of sour. Try it on the rocks or as a perfectly pickled shot. Wet your whistle with Whicked Pickle.
Gross. Nothing snaps like a Vlasic.
In a bottle.
In a bottle.
So this episode as a whole
Is gross. Gross Lickerville.
correct. That's next to Flavor Town and Whiskey.
That's the sewage plant. Ugh.
All right, I'm gonna pour it into some glasses here.
All right. Too much.
No. You need the full effect. You need the full effect.
Too much.
Listen.
Jalapenos are in the air. Damn.
Like I'm not gonna be able to stop laughing because, like, dude, it is. This was also chosen specifically because I wanted to broaden my horizons, and I knew that you would love it.
Oh, it's just so interesting. Of like, in the world of whiskey, it's like, what's some flavors that we could add that would be interesting? Obviously, you got that peanut craze, like everybody, like
Peanut butter,
like,
yeah.
like there's 7 or 8 peanut butter whiskeys now.
I literally went into a liquor store the other day, and a dude walked in and was like, "Y'all got that screwball?"
Y'all got that screwball?
And I don't know if it was a handle, but he had like a big bottle, and I was like, "That is way too big of a
That's
bottle."
too much peanut butter, sir.
I mean, I've got half a pickle in my glass here.
I know. I can't believe how much pepper, like just roasted pepper.
Right.
Like, that's all I can smell, and I haven't even got it anywhere near my face.
This is way darker than the Milort.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like whiskey.
I think this is our second, maybe third flavored whiskey. We did.
We could do a blind.
I'm okay. I don't even remember what we did, but this is a flavored whiskey. It's generally not in our wheelhouse, but that's why we're doing it. We said we were going to try new things.
We're doing it.
Here we go. On the nose.
That's phenomenal.
Now you see why I put it in the bag, so you couldn't see it and tell me no.
What's so interesting is like as you get near the glass, it's still like green pepper.
Yeah.
And then as you throw your nose into the glass, just pickle
Juice.
Like pickle juice, yeah.
100% pickle juice. Spicy
Not 100%. There's something else.
There's a spice to it. Like, have you ever had the spicy pickles?
Sure.
Yeah, I mean that's what it smells like to me.
To me, it there's something, I don't know, dusty.
Yeah.
Dirt.
Pickle dirt.
Yeah.
Cucumber dirt.
Just mud. Just dirt off your shoe. Smells like the bottom of your shoe. Like you stepped in a pickle.
This is bottled by the Holiday Distillery in Weston, Missouri. It comes in at a whopping 35% alcohol, 70 proof, like the Malort.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's a 70 proof episode.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Oh, yeah.
Going in.
Okay. Oh, my God. That is awful. The combination of flavors, none of which are pickle, is so weird.
I'm trying to formulate words.
Yeah, there's like a weird like barbecue.
Yeah.
And like some like jalapeno, like light,
There's
not ripe, like like too green jalapeno.
There's a sweet in this that just
Yeah.
like it's
Yeah.
it's
It's like they took like, just some shit whiskey.
right.
It's like they took something just nasty like that and just started pouring shit.
God, it does not get better. Ooh.
Ash. There's clearly like some sort of a weird like spicy jalapeno type spice in it that when the proof grabs it is like gasoline.
100%.
Because you start to get the heat off of that thing and then the alcohol grabs it and it's like electrifies it.
Yeah. I'm not going to say
weird.
that spice is good by any means, but that is the best part of this. But you're right. When
It
that
is
proof hits it,
interesting.
like,
And it's weird because like, first in your mouth you're just disgusted. And then everything kind of mellows out like halfway through.
Yeah.
And like there's almost like no flavors.
Right.
And then that heat kicks and then it gets electrified.
and then boom again.
And then for the next 2 minutes you're just gross.
yeah. Okay.
All right, now we pour both of these.
I'm for it. I'll try it. Here's the question, though. You have to have another sip of one of these two.
No, you have to have a full glass.
Oh, God.
No sips.
You're going to have a full Glencairn?
Yeah, full glass. And you got to finish it.
Okay.
And keep it down.
All right. Full Glencairn of Jepson's Milort or Whicked Pickle. What you doing?
I think I could keep down the Malort better.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. I'm
terrified of this stuff.
As
Like, there's a pitchfork on it for a reason. Like, this is Satan's piss. That is gross. Ugh.
As bad as the Milord is, and as bad as like I'm thinking of the Milort coming up, this would be 20 times worse.
Yeah, like your lawnmower could run over this, like run on it.
Run on it. Yeah.
You just pour this in the tank. You're good.
This could probably like if you got a lawnmower that's been sitting in your garage for like 5 years, and you need to clean that carburetor.
Can you imagine what it would smell like?
Like you pull the cord.
Everybody comes out. I smell fried pickles. The hell?
The smoke coming out of it, and everyone's delicious.
Smells good.
Smells good. Wow.
He's cooking over there.
You know what? I've enjoyed this though, like because of the experience, not because either one of these are enjoyable.
I do get pencil shavings on this though.
On the Whicked Pickle?
Yeah. Like you push that jalapeno out of the way, and there is like that weird shaven wood.
That is detestable.
Yeah. Like my nipples pop off my body and run away from it.
And I'm out. That's the sound a nipple makes?
Yeah, it's like running.
Oh, okay. Well, we did it.
Good stuff.
All right, so we're mixing Malort and Whicked Pickle.
Called it Malickle.
Malortical. What if it explodes when we put it together?
Kill him. It starts bubbling. That's smoke.
Run! I can't imagine this is going to be good.
Let those marriage.
There's like 6 ounces in my glass here, and it's only a 3-ounce glass.
That is weird. Like they are like perfectly balanced. You get just as much of one as the other.
You get both.
That's weird.
Oh, we're going in?
Yeah.
I don't. Okay. That's
actually
made
better.
It better.
That's way better than either one of them on their own.
Wow.
God, that bitter though. Ew.
Whoa.
That is
Ooh.
foul.
Okay.
Now, like the bitter and that electrical burn are like fighting each other. I'm gonna throw up.
Can we move on?
Yep.
Okay. Back to the topic here, Kyle. Okay. So, what are the ramifications of catering to children? And ultimately, I think that we're creating kids that are not going to be able to function in the adult world. Here's what I mean. Like, I don't feel like the adult world is changing as rapidly, and it's not going to necessarily catch up because you have like the child world and the adult world. I'm not saying are at odds necessarily, but like because we're catering to these kids, by the time they get into the quote unquote real world, they're not going to be able to function.
Yeah, I guess, I think what you're seeing is this world of TikTok of like everybody's an entertainer.
Right.
Everybody makes content that, they want to be consumed.
Right.
And I think that's just kind of like because they're so ingrained with consuming.
Correct.
You just initially want to be a part of it in a way.
Well, and you have people retreating into those devices, or maybe even more retreating more into like the amount of choices that they have. So like, it's no surprise that mental health issues are on the rise in young people in 18 and younger.
Right.
Where this demographic didn't experience as many mental health issues. Now, sure, to be fair, I don't want to minimize anything, but that could just be we're now more aware of it, for sure.
And we're better at detecting it.
Absolutely. But that doesn't detract from the fact that like these things are perpetuating these issues.
Right.
And, you give a kid all of these choices. Well, what do you want to eat today, Timmy? Timmy chooses peanut butter and jelly. Well, that's not super nutritious. Like, you can give him peanut butter and jelly.
Makes him happy.
Sure, makes him happy. Shuts him up for a little bit.
He'll eat it.
Great. But can Timmy exist on a diet of peanut butter and jelly alone?
Right.
The answer is for a while, yeah. But then ultimately, like that's going to lead to other bad choices. And then you're going to see a bigger rise in childhood diabetes.
Right.
In more heart issues and in more weight-related diseases, which we're already seeing.
That, and it's like, at some point in time when you do have to enter into the workforce and deal with doing something that you don't want to do because you have to.
Right.
And the hurdle that's going to present itself day after day after day after day.
Sure.
I heard this really interesting story on NPR driving over here about what they were calling, it was a Disney stress test.
Okay.
The concept is that, you have these people who come here on vacation. Their 9 to 5, their normal job is sitting in an office or not highly physical, and then they don't have a lot of physical activity in their life in general anyway, and then they come to a theme park for a week and eat theme park food and walk 8 miles a day and in the heat.
Yeah.
They like, the whole story was about like how many times like the ambulance is called out to the theme parks and how frequent that is, and pretty much every shift you're going to make a trip out to the theme parks at some point in time during your shift. And how people are just completely failing that stress test because they're not prepared for it.
Right.
And I feel like this is
And
kind of that
that's just walking around a theme
thing.
park.
Yeah, and that's just like, well, it's taking you from what you know of what your day-to-day is,
right,
and now putting it into this stressful situation, and you just can't, your body can't handle it.
Right.
And I feel like that's like the kind of the maybe what's going to happen here too, is that when you're finally just pushed into that kind of a situation, you're just not going to be prepared to handle it.
I have friends who are college professors, and as a college professor, they're seeing the ramifications of this where they have, these are junior, senior level undergrad college professors, and there are parents emailing these college professors on behalf of their kid. And their
right.
kids, 21, 22.
Right.
And it's like, at what point, first of all, the general answer is like, your kid's over 18. I'm not, first of all, I can't legally talk to you about it.
Yeah.
And like, go away.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't want to talk to you anyway.
Yeah, this isn't going to happen. But like, at what point does that stop? Because then it's going to, and I know that it's transferred over into the workforce, like you said.
Right.
There are parents that call bosses on behalf of their children.
Right.
It's like, nah, like your kid was late. Like your kid probably should be fired. Like
Right.
they've been late 5 times this week alone.
Right.
They're probably gonna be fired. And then parents calling like, "Why'd you fire my kid?" Well,
It's really none of your business.
I don't. There is no upside to me to this.
Sure.
I think, unfortunately, we're so deep into it. It's gonna be really hard, if it's even possible, to reverse all this.
Yep. I mean, I remember, man, I remember when my oldest was brand new. And I remember like putting on the TV onto like this kids channel and just being overwhelmed that there was like an entire channel of television geared for infants,
Right.
geared for like preschool aged kids. And I was like, wow, that's insane. And like, and it had like a nighttime show where it would read, nighttime stories and bedtime stories and stuff like that. And I remember thinking in that moment of like, why are you doing this for me?
Right.
Like this is, I'm supposed to be reading the story to my kid.
Sure.
I don't want my kid sitting here like glazed over watching a TV, getting that kind of experience. I would rather do it. And I think there's a lot of that too, where it's like you're losing like the connection.
Yeah. Well, even to that point too, like the TV has become, I don't want to say obsolete by any means, but the concept of like the boob tube, like that is also shifted to now the thing's in my pocket. I have access to it constantly. I don't even have to turn on a TV. In that case, it's gotten to a point where like you and I went to a movie together. The movie that we referenced last week, we went and saw Spider-Man.
No Way Home.
Gotta Go Home. What's it called?
Home Run.
There it is. You and I went and saw
Spider-Man Home Alone
3, Lost in Gotham. That's the one where Batman dies.
Yeah.
Yeah. We talked about Spider-Man last week. There was an ad before the movie that was talking about putting down your screen
Right.
to enjoy this movie.
This bigger screen.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, there are a whole lot of implications there we can unpack for sure. But it's like you have a choice here. You've come to a movie. Your choice is, texting and Twitter and Instagram on your phone or watching this movie you paid $15 for.
Right.
Choose the movie.
Yeah.
I only bring that up because at a movie theater feels the need to advertise of put down your screen to watch our screen.
Right.
Like, I don't know what kind
Can
of...
we have your attention, please?
Correct.
Yeah.
Like, why you and I both turned to each other and went,
well, I was so confused because the beginning of that ad was like, oh, I get it. Like the imagery that they're providing are like people are at a lake,
Yeah.
Sitting in boats and they go across and they don't realize the other one's there because they're staring at their phone.
Right.
Or, in these
be
really
with your family.
with these like really packed like social environments and everybody's looking at their phone. And I was like, oh, I get it. Like that's cool that a movie theater's saying that. But the end of the ad is no, put your phone down and come to the movies and watch this screen.
Right, right.
I was like blown away that like that turn. I was just like, wow, man.
I mean, I think we're creating people that are more disconnected. I think we're creating people that are less empathetic. I think we're creating people that are so choice fatigued too that they ultimately like choose the same things over and over and over and over again.
It's just comfortable.
Right, because it's comfortable and it's easy. And we're creating a new generation of people that are not, that haven't experienced challenges, haven't experienced problems, haven't experienced maybe even the same degree of adversity, depending on their individual situation, because things have just been given to them.
Well, and beating a dead horse, but like the whole concept of like constantly being engaged by a screen, like knowing how addictive social media and just, technology is anyway.
Yeah.
And you're just ingraining it that early that it's just going to be, like you're saying, it's going to be really hard to undo that at some point in time because it's already the chemical compounds that are going on in your brain when you're watching that stuff that early is like, it's like adrenaline.
It's dopamine.
It's
It's adrenaline. It's just shot
and that's
right
what
into
your body.
brain.
That's what your body craves.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't, like I said, I don't see this being reversed easily. And it really worries me as someone who is around kids for a profession, as someone who has friends with kids, as someone who might have kids eventually. It worries the hell out of me. It really does.
Right.
On multiple levels.
Yeah, it's tough.
And, you know, maybe it stems from individuals saying, like, enough's enough. I don't know.
Well, I mean, you know, everybody can do their part.
Sure.
You know, and you can obviously, like, you know, make small little choices throughout the day to affect it in your surroundings.
Right.
But, man, it's interesting to see, you know, people just completely not care.
Not at all.
You know, and just like not worried about it in the least. And it's like, great. We're all going to have to deal with this.
Sure. Sure.
You know,
one way or another, we're going to pay this price.
Yep.
You got anything else?
I have a really bad taste in my mouth. Other than that, no, I don't think I've got anything.
This thing's going to linger for days, I think, at this point. Yeah, me neither.
I'm really concerned about my next bathroom break. Like, it's going to burn somewhere.
You just don't know where. Woo! Woo! So we want to know if you've had the pleasure?
Have you had the experience?
There it is. Of having either the Jepson's Malort or the Whicked Pickle spicy pickle flavored whiskey.
Yeah. Did you survive? Did you do them both at the same time?
Are you still tasting it?
Because if you haven't had them both at the same time, you're not a real man. You haven't lived.
Yeah, sure. That's an experience everybody needs.
Yep.
Yeah. We also want to know, what are your thoughts on whether or not we are overly catering to children?
What are some examples that you've seen of those types of just overly catering and making the child the absolute focal point of any given situation?
Maybe you're a parent and you've noticed it in yourself. Like, how have you broken that cycle?
Yeah. Yeah. What are some of the things you try to do to avoid that?
So if you want to reach out and get in touch with us, you can do so through email. That's drepandstone@gmail.com. You can also get in touch with us through social media.
It's always one word, Drep and Stone, DREP and Stone. Find us, like us, watch a video, maybe, you know, comment on something and let us know how we're doing.
And you can also support the podcast by literally just telling anybody about Drep and Stone. You see someone at the table next to you in a restaurant, lean over to them, say, "Hey, excuse me. Excuse me.
Are you going to finish that?
And have you heard of Drep and Stone? I don't want to disturb your kids because they're all on their phones.
Yeah, they're watching TV.
Right. Shh. All of them. But have you heard of Drep and Stone? Take her phone and look up Drep and Stone right now. Do it. Just like that. And they're going to
snatch that kid's phone
and run.
Straight up and like put on some Drep and Stone.
For sure. You can also support the podcast by rating Drep and Stone wherever it is you find great podcasts like this one. And you can help financially support the podcast by donating through our Buy Me a Coffee page. It's buymeacoffee.com/Drep and Stone. Helps keep the lights on, Kyle.
We like lights.
We do. Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy.
I don't even know if I want to cheers with this. Like, at this point, I'm going to take another sip. I'm just kidding. Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy.
May your glass overflow.
And your ass never show. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers.
Get some blaze
it up.
words coming out my mouth. Milort.
Oh, talk about it first.
Milort it up.
Got to talk into the mic, Kyle.
This ain't no corn whiskey.
No.
Bitter bite. Sticking out like a sore thumb.
Maybe it's like all those times you've been in Chicago.
Maybe.
Running to the border.
Yeah.
So kid sneaks a vape, and then like the parents are like, "You smoked that whole vape."
Yeah.
Nope, it doesn't. It's gonna come back. Like I've had
I don't doubt it. It's just like to be able to drink something
not this.
that's not that. Fuck, we gotta. I might need to reword that. Put whatever you want to do in there. Bottles, nuts,
Pecans.
10% mistake waiting to happen.
Hey Carol, you want to try something delicious? They call me Mellow Yellow.
Or like lime Gatorade.
My bottom's burgling. That's my Whicked Pickle. You know the smell of roadkill?
Yeah.
Yeah, taking that out. That was my nickname in college.
Take a deep breath. It'll be over with.
Or ride that train all the way.
Yeah, just enjoy it.